My name is Calvin Platt. I'm interviewing Galileo
Sutherland-West.
Sutherland-West. Galileo Sutherland-West. So Galileo is a man who has traveled from Darwin, Australia to Nanjing, China, gone to London, New York City, and now he's here at Central. Galileo, what's your favorite city you've ever been to?
I think my favourite city is Sydney, but I would say the best city I've been to overall is probably Boston.
And what for you distinguishes Boston above the rest?
I think Boston has the best kind of combination. You know, New York City's too big. It feels too big and it's too uncomfortable. It's really crowded and it's actually not that nice a city. Boston's really nice. It's got that kind of coastal feel. It's got some decent weather in the summer. And I mean, it's hard to find a city there's no city with really perfect weather. Don't listen to California, they're wrong. You know, there's no city with perfect weather. And I think it's also got that world-class university and that airport. It's got everything. It's just the perfect. And then especially if you include what they call technically Boston, if you include all the Cambridge and Quincy areas, which is, you know, it's actually a fairly sizable city anyway. So there's no real drawback. That's the thing. There's no real drawbacks to Boston. It's got everything you need.
Galileo, it sounds like you've been to a bunch of different cities and you have roots in all over the world, Asia, Australia, Europe, and North America. What would you say, what part of the world feels most like home for you?
Oh, probably Sydney, because even though I was born in Darwin, all my family is from Sydney. We're kind of, so we have the phrase back in Australia, Sydney side means, you know, from Sydney. You kind of have most of my roots, most of my family roots are there. That's a city I know very well, and it's where I feel quite comfortable. So I suppose, yeah, pick Sydney.
You've been brought to Central, middle of Connecticut. I mean, that's kind of the middle of nowhere compared to some of the places you've been. What brought you to Central?
I got offered 3 states. Didn't want to do California. I've done Sydney's just like California, and then I've done. And then I saw Kentucky and I just said, no, there's no way. Can't go to Kentucky. And then, of course, I've got a friend who lives just near Boston, who I've visited once, twice, and that's why I decided it had to be.
So what have you decided to major in?
I'm doing journalism as my major and French as my minor.
Okay. Have you been to France before?
A few times, handful of times. We drove through it to get to Belgium once. I like France. I think France is very nice, but I also think France is a very overrated country. Everyone says, oh, go to France, it's lovely, and it is lovely, but there are nicer places with less tourists you can go to that are just as good. And I think also French people, they aren't as rude as British people, but they are very rude.
So where do you want to go with your majors? What's your career goals and everything?
I don't know. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a master's over here or in America. Sorry, either in America or in Australia. Either here in America or in Australia. But to do that, I need like 65 out of 100. So 65% on my overall second and third year combined. So doing well in this here is really a big step towards that.